Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In tonight's episode I go out on a solo mission as well as a brief outing with my mate Dwayne, who leaves us in a bit of a pickle. This is Team Foxer. Well, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In tonight's episode I'm out solo foxing. The sun's just setting behind me here and it's not long. Spring is just around the corner, but I've got a little bit of free time to be able to get out and catch up with one or two problem foxes on the farm. I've set the target up at exactly 100 yards just to test the zero on the 223, and I've also brought along with me my 22LR with the Thunder scope on it, which don't forget I'm giving away very soon, just in case we come across a couple of rabbits, so I thought I'd check zero on that one as well. So let's get sighted in and let's get on with the action. So we've got a perfectly clean barrel, so sometimes the first round isn't always the most accurate. But we will see. Right, so push these two buttons to record. Recording. Cycle the round. Let's see where we're at. I'll take a couple. Right, let's go and see how we did. Alright, well those look a little bit low to me. They're low and about an inch and a bit apart, those. Ideally we need to be at the top of this tape here, so I'm going to take a couple more, I think. Definitely. To be fair, that may well just be the rifle getting bedded in after having a deep clean. I put the bronze brush through it and the solvent just to get everything off of it. So the fact that they're inch and a bit apart, I like it almost touching bullet on bullet. It should easily be at that distance. So I'll rattle a couple more through it, and ideally want to be on near the top bit of that tape there because I want to be an inch high at 100 yards. So another couple and we'll see how we get on. And an extra couple of shots is all it took. A recent firmware update for the thermal means you can now zoom in when zeroing to make fine adjustments, and I was more than happy with the results. Using the PQ50L spotter to survey the landscape whilst pulling up at a likely spot, the first thing I actually see is this passing muntjac, and there are certainly plenty of these around. A couple of blasts on the electronic caller of the Vixen in heat call on the HIKMICRO GC500 yields a slightly different result. I was fairly confident I'd just seen a fox trot across the field. Having shot countless foxes on this particular farm in the past, they don't usually come from the direction where this fox actually came from. Eventually though, it settles at just over 260 yards in the same field that I'm in once it crossed the dike, but it casually just sat down and kind of looked like it was going to sleep. At times like this, you sometimes just have to deal or play the hand you've been dealt. At 266 yards the shot is doable, but I am going off of sticks. I would prefer to be off of the bipod. So I choose to stalk in. I actually get to within 130 yards, but this is quite some time later after painstakingly stalking across the field and using every time a car went past on the road adjacent to the farm to make my move before stopping and reassessing the situation. But I take the shot
and the shot looks good.
Oh, what a stroke of luck that was. I saw that fox come out. He just laid down at the edge of the grass here, and I stalked across the field. It's a very wet, dewy evening. I stalked across the field and came up the track, and he was just laid down facing me. I'm fairly sure, considering it made a big popping noise. Yes, very much so. Straight in the brain box. Little dog fox, I think. Yeah. Came out to the vixen in heat call. There we go.
With quite a lot of ground still to cover, I decided that rather than stopping and calling at my usual spots, I would drive around the rest of the permission, scanning as I went. That decision proved to be the correct one. As we're exiting the farm, I noticed the fox out in the field, quite some way off, but I had time to get across the bonnet and be steady on the bipod. Though the fox ran, that tail up in the air is the quintessential death dance and proves to me that it was a hit to the vitals.
Well, that was a result. Just about to leave the farm, and I catch sight of a fox mooching around in the middle of the field. By the time I got the rifle out across the bonnet, it was starting to go away. So I just clicked on the zoom once, squeezed the trigger on the shoulder. The shot's actually gone a little bit further back, maybe, but still low just behind the shoulder, so it's taken out the vitals there. But this fox is also pretty chunky, this vixen. So I would say, and the teats are starting to come through, I would say that this, not too young a lady, but I would say that she is in cub. The fact that we've managed to get a dog and a vixen off the same bit of ground is great news for the shoot and the farm. I'm sure they'll be dead happy. The Panther doing wonders there.
Don't even need the spotter at the minute, the lights are still on in the main yard. There's rats just running all round underneath the feeder. Told me. Well, that video's coming to the channel very shortly, and it is a cracker, so make sure you don't miss that one. We'll get back over to myself very shortly on my solo mission, but for now, Dwayne manages very successfully to squeak this fox in from right the other side of the field, as I get across the bonnet after nearly falling in the field and take the shot at just under 90 yards. No zoom required with that one, it was close enough.
Right, I'm out foxing with Dwayne tonight. We've just seen a fox in the field on the right hand side. Obviously can't shoot left, as you can see, we're right near a military base. And he said, I'll just pull left for you. So I gets out the truck and nearly bloody dropped his elevator. The camera can't see it, but his elevator a drop into this field.
I thought you got out and was on your knees.
I nearly frigging was. But anyway, Dwayne has just squeaked. Give us a rendition of how you squeaked that one in, Wayne. What did you do?
Well, I see it in the corner here, and I went like that. Hang on. like a skyrocket.
It did, didn't it? Come in a treat. So I was straight across the bonnet with a 223. Filmed it on the old Panther, and it come from over that direction there. The farm is only here, and it come in like an absolute steam train. There's a pheasant drive just on the side of these woods over here. Goes around the military base. 82. Oh, alright, well, let's walk over and have a look and see what we got. There's a stiff old breeze tonight. Probably a good 14 to 15 mile an hour. You'll probably hear it, so I apologise if it's wind, a lot of wind noise. But that's like a chunky fox, that one. Oh, gotta be a dog. Look at the size of that. They like to breed them big around here. It's gotta be a dog. Yeah. Look at that. Bang on. Blew out the chest cavity. Big tick behind his ear there. That will do some damage, that. One down, let's carry on.
Well, it turns out that would be the only fox we were able to bag that evening, but don't worry, I'm sure myself and Dwayne will be out getting up to some pretty awesome antics fairly soon. I'm nearly back home now. As you can see, it's approaching 2 o'clock in the morning, but as always, it's handy to have a quick flick over the local permissions, and as I do so, I see this fox walking away from me at a couple of 100 yards. I'm actually shouting oi because I need it to stop before it gets to that heat source there towards the back of the farm. So I actually shoot it while it's moving. Now, much like that other fox, I know damn well that fox was hit because I heard a big thud, but clearly, as you can see, it needs a follow-up shot. I do have to wait for a couple of things here, though. The fox is still moving, and I don't want to wound it again, so I want to make certain of this second shot. So I chamber the second round, wait for it to stop moving enough, get a decent amount of zoom on, and take the shot. I would range this one back to the car, and it would actually be just over 220 yards. So that was a fair dinkum distance for the 223.
Well, I'm not far from home, but just spotted Charlie in the field. And that was a long way. I'm going to range it back to the car in a minute. Just pull him through the farm. And there's old Charlie out in the field, going away from me. Get a bit of a spinny spin for the first shot. But the second shot, damn, no problem. In fact, the second shot was straight in the head. I'm just going to range this one back to the car. See how far that is, because that was a long way.
So once again, using the GQ35L spotter with its built-in rangefinder, I'm able to validate the distance there at 224 yards. As I pull out of the farm, I actually lamp up this fox using the truck lights, so it sits there long enough for me to be able to get out with the rifle and take the shot. Nice easy one, this one.
Well guys, we've arrived at the end of tonight's session. It was certainly more productive than I thought it was going to be. I'd not been to that farm for a little while, and to be fair, I wasn't really expecting more than a couple. We're into March now, and foxes can be notoriously difficult to call in at this time of year. They're often very preoccupied. The vixens are often in cub. And the dog foxes are kind of busy making home and making sure that the vixens are well fed. But nevertheless, that's 4 foxes off the shoot, and I'm sure the farmer will be really happy. That last one actually caught me a bit by surprise. As I was exiting the farm, I caught a flash of a set of eyes in the lights of the little truck. I went up the driveway turned around because I wanted to get access to the gun that's in the back, and I didn't want to be messing around in plain sight of the fox. And the plan worked. I went straight across the bonnet, so a nice steady platform, and took that fox down, and it dropped into the dike. So that's 2 dogs and 2 vixens down. Great result. I also recorded quite a cool clip on the Griffin spotter of 2 muntjac frolicking around. Spring is just around the corner, and it certainly wouldn't have been long before one of those vixens at very least was about to drop her litter. So again, good result. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this type of content, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to push that subscribe button. But for now, I'm off to bed because I am tired. Take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting.